let's talk about Kyle Tucker and the potential for him being extended by the Chicago Cubs, which it has to happen. I mean, I, I know all Cubs fans are saying it, reasonable Cubs fans, irrational Cubs fans, every Cubs fan. There's just no way that the Cubs can trade away Cam Smith, who you're going to bring up here in a minute, I
Yes.
think. You can't trade away that prospect for 1 year of Kyle Tucker and consider yourself a major market team and just let Kyle Tucker leave at the end of the season. It's too much of an investment. You've got the money. You have to, if you're not going to sign Kyle Tucker, who are they ever going to sign? It's just obvious. And immediately he was NL Player of the Week in Week 1 of MLB. Uh, he is the shit. He's the guy you pay, and we're starting to get a feeling for what it might actually cost the Cubs to extend him, as we saw Vlad Guerrero Jr. sign a 14-year, $500 million deal with the Toronto Blue Jays, his hometown club, and so to speak. That kind of set the bar in a way, and Guerrero is 26 years old. He's not quite the all around player that Kyle Tucker is. Even
Nope.
So, but Kyle Tucker is 28, so that changed the calculus a little bit. Again, I always refer to Ken Rosenthal when he weighs in on things like this, and he actually put together a deal that actually made sense to me, at least based on those numbers. He thought a 12-year, $504 million deal could get it done. Just a little bit more than less in average annual value, but around what Vlad was getting. But in a couple fewer years. So that would put him till his age 40. Actually, both those deals put them to their age 40 season. So I think that's where Ken was coming from. So that's the ballpark we're talking about. Under 50 million a year. I saw another thing last week, late last week. This is on the Score, and I'm not even sure who they were referencing, but they said they talked to Tucker's agency, which seems bizarre that the agency would give out numbers like this. But they said it was going to take at least 10,475 million. 10 years, sorry.
Yeah.
10 years, 475 million.
Okay.
So 47.5 a year. And
okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's the first thing I thought. I'm like, hell yes. He'll be 38 at the end of that instead of in his 40s. 47.5 a year. Yeah, they can handle that. They're actually 40 million under their budget from last year at this point. So if they just went slightly above what they were paying last year, that would land him. So those are actually encouraging numbers to me as a fan. They're probably horrifying numbers to Tom Ricketts, as we've seen his proclivity not to spend money like that. But I think those are reasonable deals. And if he signs elsewhere for something like that, and the Cubs do not, I mean, what are we doing? Why are we even following this team if they're not willing to do what it takes to put a world champion on the field? So there you go. There's the gauntlet right there for you, Jed and Tom. That you can sign the player that everyone knows you need to have for a amount of money that you have and can afford. So let's fucking get it done.
Yeah. Let's do it. So at the beginning of the season, you had said, hey, would you mind taking on the task of, in case this Tucker thing backfires, like
it looked like it may have, because he was so terrible in spring training. But
yeah, and in the spring training real games going like 1 for 8 or whatever.
Yeah.
So we got I thought I didn't do it last week because it was the last time we were on, actually, because the season was so new. So we're about 2 weeks into the season, so we got the Tucker for Cam Smith. Who's making out right now? Well, it's definitely the Cubs at the moment. And just obviously Tucker is a world beater right now. I mean, he's living up to. He's actually playing like a guy who's in a contract year, like they often do.
That's interesting.
But he also has put up these numbers pretty consistently. So 1042 OPS on the season compared to Cam Smith's 612. That's all you need to say.
Right there.
Nothing more to pontificate about. Cam's working his way through it. If you do look, though, I think the nerves are kind of off because he's trended upward the last 7 games, where his OPS is 709. over his last seven
getting
starts
towards league average there.
Yeah, so he's working his way into it, and all of his offensive numbers are over the past 7 games. So
yeah,
he's slowly working his way into a Major League Baseball player. But
yeah, he's got years to figure this out too.
Yes.
But so,
but to your point, you trade away like your top prospect, right, for a rental player as of right now, because nothing's happened. One of your best pitchers goes down for the season. It's all worth nothing without some sort of at minimum playoff appearance, but like playoff run.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm not feeling it right now. I know they played way better than you and I both anticipated. So kudos to that. Part of, I think Tucker's obviously helped bring along Pete Crow Armstrong, who's out of his mind right now.
Well, this weekend he had a great weekend, or maybe even just one game in LA. But
so, I mean,
but Tucker's, the Reggie Jackson term, he's the straw that stirs the drink. He makes the Cubs offense so much more potent in so many ways. It's just obvious how much better that offense looks with Tucker in the lineup, and they have to sign him. I mean, the Cam Smith bit, I thought that might be a fun bit considering how they played in spring training, how much better Smith was. But if you look deeper into that, I mean, we probably brought it up. He was facing mainly single A or double A pitchers in his plate appearances in spring training. So it's not surprising that he would be able to dominate those guys and struggle once he actually sees major league pitching. So no, not disparaging Cam Smith in any way. He's got a long time to figure it out, and he's shown some promise already. But I wouldn't be surprised if they sent him down at some point this year. But it would have been funny if those numbers were comparable to do that bit every week or so. But I think we can probably retire that one at this point.
Yeah, at this point, I say we retire it. Maybe I'll keep an eye on the numbers, and if something compelling happens to where it's
keep us posted,
becoming close, then well, I'll be laughing and you won't be. But
Word Hole Media.